The deadly blue whale game claims another life. The latest victim being from Madhya Pradesh's Damu district. A school student allegedly committed suicide by kneeling on the rail tracks on Saturday night when a train ran over him. Police investigations are underway, but the friends of the deceased allege that he was involved in the blue whale challenge for quite some time. With this, the death toll increasing with the way students and young teenagers are really getting influenced by this blue whale challenge and then ending up losing their lives, committing suicide.
साथ में स्कूल जाते थे, साथ में सब कुछ करते थे। पता नहीं अचानक से वो बोल तो रहा था कि ब्लू व्हेल गेम खेलते थे। हम बोले थे ये वाला गेम खेलो, ये हम लोग गेम खेलते हैं, ऐसा ही गेम है। हम बोल रहे ये वाला गेम हमसे नहीं बनता, हम तो ब्लू व्हेल खेलते हैं। पता नहीं एक हफ्ता हो गया था उसको, 1-1.5 हफ्ते।
Vijay joining us now live. Vijay, yet another life lost to this deadly fatal game, and this coming in despite stringent directives being known to the respective authorities to pull down all those websites, all those links that even suggest this particular game.
Well, exactly, but we need to understand one thing: the internet is a huge place, and there are instances where we've seen in the past, despite particular websites being pulled down, despite particular links being struck down from the internet, there are still a possible chances of proxy servers, there are chances of proxy domains which one can operate from, and that's how piracy works, in the name of in the form of torrents. So it is a little bit difficult to put a watchguard on the internet as a whole to ensure that this doesn't happen. But what needs to be done, which the Madras High Court has very clearly suggested, is proper counselling and adequate information about this entire blue whale game. I mean, the respective authorities need to take this on a very serious matter, and especially what needs to be done is proper education in schools and in colleges, and the age group that's targeted is pretty much between 9 and 15. So that's where it's very crucial. That's why we see children going onto the internet quite often. So what needs to be done in a proper counselling from parents, proper counselling to parents as well about these this entire game, and a proper watch on what their children are
More and more cases really emerging, Vijay. In fact, on a daily basis, we are seeing one or the other state being affected by this deadly game. In fact, today in a development, the Madurai bench of Madras High Court has sought centre's intervention in removing the deadly game from all social media platforms. Well, remember, this deadly game has claimed 100 lives around the world and a few in India as well. The bench has directed all schools and colleges to provide adequate counselling. Vijay is still with us. Vijay, although the Madurai bench seeking centre's intervention to remove this game completely from all social media platforms, but is that really possible? Can that be implemented? This is a huge task ahead, isn't it? It's challenging really to remove all sorts of links and websites related to this blue whale challenge, because as we've been mentioning, internet is a massive platform really, and to completely abolish this would be a massive task ahead.
Well, exactly. Not just that, Madras High Court's direction comes after, the CVCID had filed a report, and in their report they clearly mentioned that, there is no such link available, or, there is no way that downloads can be possible because the game has been banned. Now, what is confusing is, we've actually gone and searched for the link online. There is no particular link that allows you to download the blue whale game. So the actual source of the game is something that I think authorities need to track down, because they're saying that stringent measures would be taken on those who are sharing it, via various other social media platforms and sharing and apps that allow you to share heavy files. So that is something that people need to understand and try to find out where this is coming from, what is the source, because it is possible for the cyber police to try and find out what the source is, even if it's a proxy server or a proxy domain or somebody operating under a proxy name. That can be tracked, because if there is some available, if there was a possibility that this game was shared via social media platforms, or if there was a possibility that this game was downloaded from somewhere, I think there is a possibility, or there is a chance that, or a trace of, where this game is, and possibly find out the link, and then following it up with tracking where this link is coming from and where the original source is. But that is something was very
cannot really be put on the police, the cyber police only, isn't it? There needs to be a larger awareness program that needs to be launched, because we are now seeing deaths after deaths, teenagers getting affected by this game, committing suicide. But there needs to be a larger plan. With the Madras bench now seeking centre's intervention, it is high time that the centre steps in and takes this issue seriously.
Well, exactly, and various other groups across the country need to come over here and chip in. Especially the centre needs to take this on a very high priority basis, because the amount of lives that we've seen that are lost, especially in India and also across the globe, is very shocking, and something to as futile as a video game or a computer game is really, really sad. Especially for parents, who probably aren't aware, from where this game is coming or how it's been downloaded or what their child is, surfing on the social media platform. So definitely there needs to be some intervention. There needs to be some guidance from the centre as well as to, what needs to be done. Because if the High Court is asking help from the centre, then you can imagine the seriousness and the magnitude of this entire problem is. So the CBCID might have filed their own report, and the Madras High Court might have also given their directions, but this is a little bit more than that. There has to be a proper program set up. There has to be enough information given from experts across the country as to how this needs to be handled. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, the internet is a huge space, so trying to put a guard on one particular website or one particular game could be difficult just for the cybercrime or for even the police. So there has to be a lot of people coming in and chipping in to ensure that this is completely struck down.
Right, the Madurai bench now seeking centre's intervention. As we've been speaking, it's time now perhaps for the centre to take this issue as a high priority matter. Vijay, thanks for getting in all those inputs.